Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video we're going to be going over creating your first AWS account. And in creating the account, there are some things we need to go over, that way you understand how AWS accounts work. And here on the screen you can see I have 4 items you need to understand so you know how AWS account works. The first thing you need to understand is that when you're creating an account on AWS, you're creating something like a container. So your account is contained inside like something like a container right here, where everything you set up is inside that container. So there's no one can just come in and get access to your account, because everything you set up is inside a container. All resources you set up, everything is inside a container there, so no one can come into your account and have access to your account unless you grant them access. The second thing you need to understand is the email you use in creating the account is going to be called the root user. Now the root user is the person that has the most power in the account. So if you're setting up the account, make sure you use the appropriate email address. If you're setting up for corporate, make sure it's a good corporate email, because if you use your personal email to set up a corporate account, you are inevitably going to be the root user on the account. So make sure you have the right permissions to use your email or the corporate email to set up the account, because this root user has an overarching administrative privilege on the account. They can create and destroy any account in your AWS account, so you have to be careful with this root user. The third thing you need to consider is billing. The credit card you use in setting up the account is going to be the main credit card to be billed. So if you're setting up a corporate account and you use your personal credit card, you're going to be billed for any services you incur in the account. So make sure you have the appropriate account, the appropriate admin account, the appropriate billing information for the account to be billed. And the fourth and last thing you need to consider is, like I said earlier, your account is created on like a container here, and by default it's secure because you created the account and no one else has the information to access the account. It's by default secure, but you have to do other things again to further secure or harden the account. That way no one can have access. Things like you need to set up MFA, like MFA, Multi-Factor Authentication on the account to make sure the account is secure completely. So these are the things you need to understand before you create an account in AWS. And next, the requirements to open an account in AWS. There are 3 main things you need to open an account in AWS, but the other 2 I put there as optional. The first thing you need is an email address, a valid email address, because an email address is going to be sent to you. A verification code is going to be sent to you, and you have to impute that verification code into the AWS account when you're setting it up. So you need to have a valid email address. And there are ways you can use dynamic email address in Google to help you get additional email address. I'll go over that on the next slide. You need a credit card account. You need a credit card or a debit card. Now, if this is your corporate, make sure you have a corporate credit card or debit card. So this is going to be used to verify your account again, to verify that the credit card is valid. There will be like a $1 lien on the account to verify. It's going to appear as a pending transaction just to verify that your account is valid. Now, the debit card or credit card you set up for this account is going to be the one billed. So you also have to be careful that you have the correct credit or debit card for the account. The third thing is going to be a valid phone number. A phone number, a code is going to be sent to your phone number, and you're going to have to verify that phone number. So make sure you have a valid phone number to receive the email for verification of the code on your account before your account is even opened. Now these are optional. These ones are optional. Now optional MFA app. Now in order to further secure your account, it's advisable, best practice AWS, to have MFA on your account, especially the root account. MFA is multi-factor authentication, where you have multiple factors of authenticating yourself into AWS. So username and password is one factor of authentication, and sending you code is another factor of authentication using logging into the to AWS. Another optional thing I will go over is the password manager. This is not really required, but when you start setting up accounts in AWS, you discover that you get so overwhelmed with multiple accounts and you can't really manage them or track them as such. So it's always advisable to set up to get a password manager to manage your passwords and username and stuff, so that you don't get confused along the way. I know it's happened to me, so I got confused along the way. So I encourage everyone to get a password manager. That way you're not there guessing passwords and stuff like that. So I was talking about email, how to use email to create an account. Now Gmail has a unique feature. It's called dynamic email, that allows you to add a plus sign to your regular email, and you can set up infinite emails, so you can use those to create multiple accounts on AWS. For example, if your email address is trump@gmail.com, for example, let me just wipe this. If your email address is trump@gmail.com, for example, if you add trump plus AWS account 1@gmail.com, and you add account 2, account 3, account 4, you can create infinite email addresses. And the funniest thing is, all these go to the same email address. So all these will route to the same email address. It's just a way of helping users filter out their emails from like their junk, spam and stuff like that. But this helps you in getting as many accounts as possible, hence the reason you need a password manager. Because if you're going to be setting up multiple accounts, you may need to have a password manager to help you manage those accounts. And also MFA, you can get so for password manager, I use KeePass. It's an open source password manager. You don't need to pay anything for it, just download it and use it. For MFA, I would advise you pick one authenticator, download one authenticator on your phone and use that one particularly for your AWS projects. Don't try to use different authenticators, just use one for your AWS projects and name them accordingly. That way there's less confusion with getting your MFA token. And next, so for creating this account, it's usually good to have a naming convention, and my naming convention right here is pretty easy. So right here I'm using the account name, the provider right here, and the resource name. So you can develop your naming convention however you want it. This enables me to I will use the same account name, and whenever I'm trying to log in or create an account with Azure or any other cloud provider, I change this to the cloud provider's name, like Azure main, and I still keep the main or any account I'm creating, like maybe prod, dev or stuff, anything like that. That way I have a unique naming convention for all my accounts and I can recognize them wherever I see them. For example, for this account creation, we're going to be using my account name is CloudSecMo right here, and it's going to be my AWS main account. So which means this is going to be the account I'm going to be using to the email address I'm going to be using to create my first account. So this is going to be the root. So like the dynamic Gmail password I showed you earlier. So this is CloudSecMo plus AWS main @gmail.com, and the username for my account is going to be CloudSecMo-AWS-main. Now this main allows me to understand that it's the main account. Now once we create the main account, which is the root user, we're also going to create an admin account, and this is going to be the alias we're going to be using for the admin account, and this is going to be the admin username. Now we are creating this admin account so that we don't have to use the root account. Best practice in AWS is do not use root account for anything. Always create another account and use that account. You can grant this account an admin privilege and use this account instead. The reason is, like I said, root has all the power in the account. Root can delete and create accounts in the account, in your AWS account. So you just have to, best practice is to save this and use a different account you create. Okay, without wasting much time, let's go to the console, the AWS console, and create accounts. Okay, here we are on the AWS console. So like I said, for the root user email, we're going to be using like I showed you in the naming convention, we're going to be using cloudsecmo plus awsmain@gmail.com, and the account name is going to be cloudsecmo-aws-main. So this is the main account. Now I'm going to click verify email. Now I should receive an email with a verification token. So I'm going to check my email account, refresh. Here's the verification token. Get the verification token, go back. Guess I didn't copy it. Get the verification token, go back to the console and enter the verification token and verify. Now we're going to set, so email has been verified successfully. Now we're going to create password for the root user. So now you can go ahead and create a password for the root user, and I'm going to create a password real quick. Let me see here. Okay, there you go. So I created the password. Okay, now you go ahead and enter the personal information, all your personal information here, your phone number, your name and stuff. I'm gonna just go ahead and do this off the camera. You can go ahead and do this. For security reasons, I'll do this off the camera. You go ahead and enter this and hit I have read and agree, and then agree to the next step. So this is for my person. Okay, so on this next page, that's the fourth page, it's gonna ask you to confirm your identity. That's your phone number, so you're going to enter your phone number here and then confirm. So I'm just going to enter my phone number and I'm going to receive so here you're going to enter the security verification code. For this one, if you can't already see it, just refresh and get a new one. And now a security code is going to be sent to my phone. So go ahead, check your phone, confirm the security code and enter it here. So my security code is 1173 and then continue. Now on this page, it's going to ask you what kind of support plan would you want to have. Basically, if you're not a business owner or something, just go with the basic support plan and it's free. You can beat free. So here may take a few minutes, and right now you see, congratulations, your account has been opened. So you just give it a few seconds, maybe 1 or 2 minutes for the accounts to be set up properly. Then you click on this to go to the management console. So as soon as you log in for the first time, this is the page you see. And and this is the AWS Management Console. Once you're here, the first thing you would want to do is, at the top right here, this is the account name we created, and it's telling you it's the main account. When you click it, it's going to provide you with this is your account ID, and this is the region where you are right now. So right now we're in US East 1 region, and here there are some things, there are little settings we need to do on the account. So right now, click on this, go to account, down, scroll down the page. Now when you come to IAM user and role access to billing information, you want to click edit right here, and then click activate IAM access, and then update. Now this is going to enable any other user you create in the account that has IAM access or admin access to be able, or billing access to be able to view the billing on the account. Otherwise, no one is going to be able to view the billing on the account. And then update. Now additionally, if you are creating this account for corporate use, you want to come down here and click edit. So if you're using this for corporate use, you want to click here to update, otherwise just cancel out. And your account has been set up right now. So the root account has been set up right now, but in order to make the account more secure, you need to set up multi-factor authentication on the account. That way, since it's a root account, it's advisable to set up an MFA on the account. So in order to get to your MFA page, just come to the search bar here, type IAM, or you can see it right here already provided for you, but just go ahead and type IAM, go to IAM, and right here, just right here already, it's telling you to set up IAM, to set up MFA for your account. So you can click add MFA on this account. So click add MFA. Now MFA, it's gonna ask you to provide a device name for your MFA. So for this device, I'm going to use auth MFA main. So this is auth MFA main, which carries the main. So this is gonna be the name that will appear on your MFA device once you scan it. So we're going to be using the scanning here to use the authenticator app. You can use the passkey, or you can use the hardware token, the hardware TOTP token. But for this course, we're going to be using the authenticator app. And go ahead and open your authenticator app. Click next. It's gonna right here. You need to scan. So on your authenticator app, you want to go and create new or add a new account, and then you're going to find a place to scan a QR code on your authenticator app, depending on the one you use. So right now I'm just going to show QR code and then scan. So it's going to provide you with, just 1 second while I get mine. So it's going to provide you with 2 different MFA tokens. So you enter the first one, 489243, then you wait for the second one. After about 30 seconds, you should receive the second one. So you enter the second one, let me see. Yep, so 196708, and then add MFA. All right, our MFA is set up. We have successfully added our MFA, and that's it. Our account is good to go. And right here it says root user. Our MFA has been set up. Now, in order to verify that our MFA has been indeed set up, let's go ahead and log out. log back in. So let's go ahead and log back in. We're logging in using the root user email. So enter the root user email we're using creating the account. Next, it's gonna ask you for your password. Enter your password. Then it's gonna ask you for your MFA. Go to your MFA device, open it, then go to the account you just created. You should see some code being generated for you. Enter your MFA code. It should log you in, and there you go. Voila, we're in. Our MFA is working. Awesome. So now, like I said earlier, in order to secure this account, we do not need to use the root account anymore. We just have to use the root account to create another user, which is going to be the admin. So right now, let's go to the to identity and access management right here. Click on it. You can find it here. You can find it here in your recently visited. You can search here for it, or you can drop down and search here for it. But right now, since it's right here, go ahead and click on identity and access management. So before we create the user, there's something we need to take care of first, because when you create a user, the user is going to need to log in with a URL. And if you look over here, the URL we have has HTTPS, the account ID, sign in as AWS console. Now we don't want to use the account ID, which is the same as this. We want to create an alias. That way, when the user is trying to sign in, they sign in with their alias. No one is gonna. You don't want to be trying to remember this account ID, so we want to create an alias here. Now, from my naming convention on the other page, you can use the alias I set up already. So right now, I'm going to use this alias right here. Just 1 second. So this is going to be my alias. So for some reason this is not okay. Let's see. So main, no upper character, and then create. So right now this is our alias, and right here it's imputed right here. So right now we can go ahead and create the user. So to create a user, this is the identity and access management page. Go to users, create user. What is the username? My username is going to be I am admin. Let me just change everything to lowercase. I am admin. Now we want to provide the user access to the AWS management console. So yes, we want that. Now AWS is pushing for creation of users to be done through their identity center right now, but for the purpose of just training right now, we're going to do it using we're just going to create the I am user. For the password, you can either auto generate password or you can create a custom password. So I'm going to create a custom password. So that's my custom password. So here it says users must create a new password at next sign in. I don't want that, so I'm going to uncheck it, and then next. And here we're going to be granting permissions, attaching policies to this user. So because we're trying to create an admin user, we can go ahead and attach policies directly to this user. If we had a group already, then we can add the user to the group, or we can copy permissions from somewhere else. But right now we're attaching policy directly to the user. So click on this. Then since we're attaching policy to the user, you want to search for, so here, right here, administrator access. Otherwise, if you can't find it, you can just search for it. But I'm just attaching administrator access to this user. There it is. And then next. And this is it here. I am admin as a username. Just double check to make sure everything is good. And then create user. And this is the policy attached to the user. And then create. Now, if you want to view the policy, get the JSON for the policy. Here you see the policy attached to the user. Effect is allow, you're allowing user. Action, asterisk mean anything. Resource, any resource. So this is like a huge access for the user. So user is allowed to access anything from anywhere at any time. So go back here, then create user. Now user created successfully. Now return to user list. Now if you wanted to email the user, for example, you created a user and you wanted to email them their credentials, you can email sign-in instructions to the user from here. You can download the sign-in or login instructions for the users here and send to the user. But since we're not doing that, just return to users list. Continue. And this is the user right here. Still trying to get created. Everything is successful. Now, so how do we know this user is created correctly? We'll just have to go back in there and log in as the user. So we want to go back to identity and access management right here. And copy this URL for the user, and then open a new tab. Once you paste this in and log in, it's gonna log you out of the admin account. So it's logged you out of the admin account already, but it started you off with the user's account name, user. Then you want to enter the username, which is I am admin. Then you want to enter the user password. Sign in. So right now we're signed in as the new user. So if you look at the top right here, you can see it's the I am admin at user signed in, and when you click here, you will see that it's the I am user that is signed in, not the root user. So now we've successfully created the account, but one more thing to do. Since this user has admin access, we want to do one more thing, which is add MFA to this user. So what we need to do again is go back here, search for IAM, and then add MFA. Just the same process as the other one. So here the naming convention is going to be auth -MFA -IAM admin -general, so -main. So auth MFA IAM admin -main. And same thing, we're going to use the authenticator. Next, get your authenticator app ready. So you want to add a new account. So you don't want to use the previous one you used for the root account. So you want to add a new account to this. So show QR code, get the QR code scanned, and then let me see here. You want to get the code. You're going to have two sets of codes, 157896. You're going to wait 30 seconds and get the other code. And after 30 seconds, you should receive the other code again. So 668370, and then add MFA. You should add successfully. Yes, there you go. So right now we're going to log out and log back in to try the MFA to make sure it's working. So log in. So this is the username. This is the account ID. And this is going to be I am, and the password. Enter your password. Sign in. You should request MFA. Enter your MFA code. It should log you in if it's successfully set up. There you go. There it is. So we have successfully set up the MFA. So right now, if you go to billing, just type billing here, or you can go to the top right here and see billing and costs. So there's no data available because we haven't accrued any billing yet. But if we had not set up the allowing IAM user to access billing with the root account, we wouldn't have been able to see anything here. So that's why we had to set it up. So thank you very much for watching. So far we set up the root user account, set up MFA for the root user account, use the root user account to create an admin account, and then set up MFA for the admin account. Now we're going to leave the root user account untouched and use the admin accounts to do our daily business on AWS. Thank you for watching this video. On my next video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up budget for your account. That way you don't get unnecessary billing on your account. So make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll come back with the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.